up, guys? Welcome to part 10. This one's going to be a quicker episode, just go over a couple updates. While I'm waiting on a few things, I got some wood to cut in a box to finish up for part 3. In the meantime, I'm waiting on the fender wells. There'll be another video getting really close on that. So I figured I'd do the doors, which I did a couple months ago. I did the Trique Manufacturing Bear Claw door hardware. I thought it was going to be straightforward, so I didn't do a lot of filming. It turned out to be a little more difficult than I was anticipating, just because of kind of the templates, and the cutting was pretty in depth. So I did get that done, where everything worked out great. Didn't get a lot of footage, but what I do have, we can kind of go over real quick right now. Let's get started with that. Now that I got the door hardware all complete, I wanted to do my door panels. So I had manufactured some door panels out of some different material to get going for the upholstery. So let's go over that portion. Here's my door panels. I've made a plastic version of that so it's see-through, so I can see where I'm going to drill some holes. And be able to install these Christmas tree push-in fittings. So what it'll do is it'll make the door panels have no screws, so it'll be seamless. So when I put the upholstery on there, it'll just pop onto the panel. Everything's drilled for the door panels. Here's the interior panels. For those who know the trucks, the 47s, 54, they were cardboard. So what I did here is, when I restored the truck, part of the truck the first time, I got rid of the cardboard ones, and this is actually material from like the Home Depot. It's like what you would use around your tile, like your tub surround, instead of using tile. So it's waterproof, it's flexible. I thought it'd be a good idea for the panels. So they worked out good. I just modified them now. I've drilled all the holes properly to use the Christmas trees. So they just slide right in, lock into place. So now I can just push them in. I'll have no screws anymore. The holes for the crank and the door handle. Now these are good to go. They all can get wrapped in my leather. So I'm just getting ready to take all that in right now. And while I'm waiting for those kind of other pieces, done with the mock-up of the cab, so I don't need the seat in there anymore. I got the column, everything's all figured out. So I took it all apart and set a meeting with my upholsterer. So I brought everything down there, getting all that ready. So while I'm kind of finishing up the mock-up of the truck and the breakdown, at least I'll get all the interior stuff wrapped, the door panels and the AC components, where the vents go, and the seats. So that's all kind of going right now. So why don't we go over the process of that for the part 1 of the interior. So I got these little eyelets here. I think they're 1.25 inches. They're brass. I can't find them anywhere in white, and I'm gonna use these for my seats to be put in the leather going down. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm using polar white, and I'm just gonna powder coat some test pieces to get them the color that I want. And now they're white. Seats out of the truck. It's that time. I have no need for it in here anymore. I've mocked up the column, steering wheel. I'm gonna start taking the panels out, do the gas filler cap. I gotta get to that, so I'm gonna start taking the panels out, getting the cab kind of prepped. I'm getting to that point. So the seat's going, door panels, any of the AC kind of brackets where the AC goes, anything that's getting wrapped in leather is all getting packed up and dropped off.
Yeah, leather's a little bit different than cloth, and there we go. Forgot the other part.
Video the samples. So this is 3-inch.
Yep.
And 2-inch.
2-inch, yeah.
Double stitch.
Yeah.
Eyelets.
So then, yeah. So depends on how deep this is
Yeah.
as to how many we can get in there, because they should be evenly spaced.
Yeah, yeah. Back from the upholsterer. The consensus is 2 3/4 wide, white stitching, single stitch, thicker stitching. So it's going to be a little bit thicker than this, so it stands out. And then we're going to do the eyelets, the white eyelets, only in the middle row, 4 of them along the back and along the bottom. We just put them backwards, but they will go look that side. Yeah, that's what we're gonna go with. So she's doing the interior panels, the seat, the armrests, and the vintage air dash pieces. So those all get wrapped. So she's working on that right now. And the next step will be to tackle the vintage luggage suitcase gas tank. That's soon to come. It's gonna be cool. Now that I got all that figured out, it's all underway. That's another thing that's kind of going in the background, not doing any of the paint or the interior, so that's good. It's like something's getting done while I'm doing nothing, which is pretty sweet. But there's a couple more updates. So the rear end did come. Thought it was going to be super simple to put in, and for some reason that one was challenging by myself. So I did get the rear end in, so let's go over that quick update. The rear end is in. That was a nightmare. By yourself for one, but for two, yeah, the third member would not. I'd never had so much trouble getting that in. Anyway, it's in and everything fits perfect. It's right to the frame. Laid down. Everything's good. Width is perfect. Problem solved. Even the rear sway bar is literally 1/4 of an inch under the wood when it's laid out. Good. Done. All right, and let's end it with a little kind of sneak peek of what I've done to the interior for the ceiling. So I did something cool in there. I think it is. You guys might not, but I think it'll tie in good with the concept that I got going under the hood and what I have planned in the back. So here's a quick sneak peek of what I've done here. And for the last, did something different for the air tank in the back. Got the air tank kind of sitting by the gas tank. The gas tank I'm gonna have, I'm not gonna give too much away, but it's gonna look, I plan on looking like a vintage suitcase. What I have with all the components and belts and padlocks and all sorts of stuff wrapped in leather. So the air tank fits really nice kind of in there, sitting by it, and that's what I've done is I've wrapped the air tank to kind of match the ceiling and the Holly high ram in the front. So it kind of brings in a piece on each section to tie it all together. So I'll give you a quick sneak peek on what that's going to look like. It's the AccuAir air tank. Got it completely wrapped in my Chevy Vuitton design. I think that'll look good. Gas tanks all green leather with big black buckles. Look like an old vintage suitcase. All the corners are all black. So it'll kind of be like a vintage suitcase with all the fuel pump wires and all that tucked and hidden. And the air tank. All right, that wraps it up for part one. You guys got an idea what I'm waiting for when it comes in, and then part two won't be till we start putting it all together and near the end for the interior. But I'm really excited about it. I think if my vision is how I kind of see it, I think it's going to turn out great. The gas tank I'm going to save for last. So that is gonna, I almost have all the components to complete my idea there, so you guys will see that when we're nearing the end of the build. But for now, stay tuned for part 3 of the bed raise, bed tilt, inner fender wells, and some of the other components in the front before we start disassembling the truck. All right.